This is Richard Wolff from Democracy at Work responding to another Ask Prof. Wolff question. And actually, today it's two questions. One from Ahmad Garanfoli, a member of our website community, and the other one from Vidit, a member of our Patreon community, because their questions overlap and I can handle them together. Ahmad's question is very, very important. He says in a worker co-op based economy, unlike a capitalist one, how would we handle workers who have different skills? Would those with more skills be paid more the way that happens in capitalism, and so on? This is really a wonderful question because it allows me to focus everyone's attention on key differences between a capitalist system and a worker co-op system. Here's the basic story. In a capitalist system, the only skills that get you a job are the ones that make a profit for your employer. That's how capitalism works. The skills you have that are not relevant to the capitalist profit don't count. That is, to be precise, he doesn't count them. He doesn't care if you're good with children. He doesn't care if you're a wonderful coworker. He doesn't really care about what happens to your family. He cares about what you do in the hours that you're working that enhances his profit. The worker co-op community would operate completely differently. It would look at all your skills because it deals with all of you. It wants to be there to handle needs you have, perhaps physical, perhaps mental. It needs to take into account your family. It needs to take into account whether you're a leader, whether you're flexible, whether you have intellectual interests that can open up opportunities for the business in the future that they can't even imagine at this point, because it's a community that has to take care of itself. And let me drive home why this matters so much. If you have a skill and the employer pays you, but that's what the employer cares about, but it's not a skill that's all that valuable to the employer, they won't pay you very much. And you know what that might mean? That might mean you need to take a second job because you're not paid really very well. And that means you're not going to have much time for your children. And that means that they're going to be perhaps neglected if the same problems affect your husband or your wife in a relationship, etc. All of those things matter. All of those things shape what kind of lives we all have. They should be taken into account when the time comes to decide what kind of job you have, what kind of support you get. But that's not how capitalism works. The capitalist doesn't have to worry about helping you through family crisis, through difficulty with your children. The capitalist, again, buys whatever skills you have that help his profit. Everything else is of no concern or so secondary as to basically disappear from view. And here's where Vidit's question comes in. Vidit asks, look, I know so many people, Vidit says, who have great skills, who have gone to school, who have great ambitions, but can't get or find a job that makes use of all that they want to contribute. Exactly right. But that's a system problem. That's because capitalism, in a way, holds us all hostage when it comes to jobs. The only jobs that will be there are the ones that make a profit. Capitalists will tell you, if they're honest, we're not here to solve social problems. We're not here to make your life productive. We're not here to build the community. We're here to make money. That's what we get rewarded for. And if we don't do it, that's what we get punished for. That's how the system works. And that's exactly right. Everything else is secondary. You only get a job if someone makes a profit hiring you. And they want that profit to be maximized. And they don't care or want you distracted by all the other things that a rich, diverse life involves. That's a problem of the system. And ironically, it undermines capitalism itself. Because here's the irony. If you treat people so narrowly, I'm only interested in you for this particular thing you do to enhance my profit. And you ignore everything else is going to come back and bite you as a capitalist. The worker who is unhappy because there's no proper fit between what he or she loves to do on the one hand and the job they have in their life on the other. That's an unhappy person whose lack of opportunity to do what he or she studied and hoped to be able to do will eat at them physically and mentally. And they may very well stop being a very profitable employee because you've neglected all of the other dimensions except that one that led you to hire the person in the first place. This is a bitter lesson that capitalism teaches so many, and not the least important reason to go beyond capitalism is that we ought to have jobs that fit people, not the other way around. And we certainly oughtn't to have the jobs we do as human beings held hostage, because we're the majority who do the work, held hostage to the profits of a very small subsection of our society. Not a good way to build communities. If discussions like these strike you, as they strike us, worthy of producing a video like this, then help us, partner with us, share it to friends, family, coworkers. That extends the reach, that gives the impetus, if you like, to people to think about these things perhaps in new and different ways and talk about them, which is a way of bringing change. And of course, if you can help us as well financially to pay the costs of doing this, know that that will be appreciated as well. Thank you.